Yo, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. Y'all know how I do. If it's 7 o'clock in the morning, I'm sorry, if it's seven people listening in the morning, I'm happy with that. So shout out to everybody that's up this morning. You might be on the West Coast, you might be on the East Coast, North Coast, might be in the South with me. But shout out to you anyway. Good morning, good morning. We got to have a conversation going into 2025. Yes, sir. We got to have a conversation going into 2025. Derek Franks, Eric Madison is in the building. James Watkins, an artist, is in the building. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Shout out to y'all. Just getting ready for work here. Look at this thing going. I just looked in the mirror and saw that I'm young, pretty, and still hitting hard. I love this song. It was called Waves by J. Cole. Excuse me, Joey Badass. It was later reproduced by my man J. Cole. Black Power, Psycho. You know, Psycho, I watched your show the other day. I enjoyed all of it because I'm with you on this. And maybe you're not with me, but we still bros. Fuck FBA. They get in the way of a lot of progress because they too are trying to create revisionist histories about who we are as we relate to the United States of America. We got to have these conversations. And we got to stop being so reckless about it. It's time shit change in 2025. I'm serious. It's time shit changes in 2025. That's why I called it. It's time to grow up in 2025. It is time to grow up in 2025. The identity politics that black folk participate in on YouTube got to stop. It has to stop. Now, what I mean by identity politics is people who are usurping the culture of others in order to push doctrines that don't exist. Hebrews, Abos, FBA, all of that shit does not give us any goddamn power. None of it makes any goddamn sense. It is time Derek Frank said that. I'm going to repeat that. He said that Joey Badass 1999 album was fire. Yeah, you know what? It was one of the better albums of the year. But hear what I got to say right now. I want you to hear what I got to say. You know, I want everybody to join my clubhouse, Biblical Discourse. Because what I've been explaining to people is... You know, I'm looking at this young lady across the street. Every time I leave out my crib, I see her coming home, and she goes and picks up her husband. Beautiful. But anyway, they're a young married couple. It's beautiful. And they're black. So, as I get started here, I'm going to be very clear here. The Hebrew shit, the Abo shit, the FBA shit, I'm sick of that shit. Excuse my language. It's getting out of it. You know what? It's way out of hand at this point. And it's embarrassing. It's embarrassing when other cultures look at us and they'll say, ha ha, look what we caused them to do. And part of it is no identity of self. And when you lack identity of self, this is where these doctrines begin to strip down who you are, right? It literally milks the fabric of what Africans have done in this country. Now, I have to talk about two situations because it was two separate incidences what happened yesterday, right? On my channel, you know, on my Clubhouse channel, please join it, Biblical Discourse. Because what I do is I go directly after Hebrews and I let them make all this shit up, So join it, Biblical Discourse and Conversations, right? Or just put me up, Chris Harris, on Clubhouse. Because instead of going up in these damn Hebrew rooms trying to ask them things, I realize they're over the phone. They can just kick you off, right? They want to debate the great MVP, but then when I get on there and start asking them questions, they remove you. Women too. They just as batshit crazy. The women too are just as batshit crazy on these apps, or those who I join these identity cults. Excuse me, because I'm starting off slow this morning. Right? It's just like, it's so much stupidity. I don't know how to start. But it's laughable. Because when you look at Puerto Rican people, they're Puerto Rican. They take pride in that. When you look at people from Guatemala, when you look at people that come over here directly from Africa, they have a lot of pride in who they are because it represents the fabric of their essence, right? Their existentialist views are going to be African, right? So let's first talk about Clubhouse, how I was over there on Clubhouse yesterday. That finally made me say, you know what? Fuck this shit, Chris. Start your own Clubhouse. Let that shit grow. Show them their errors. I found out you can't show these identity cults their errors. You can't show it to them. They don't want to hear it. They want to push the lie. They enjoy the lie because they have no knowledge of self. This is what your ancestors wanted. They wanted you to have knowledge of self. So starting over there on Clubhouse, it's a bunch of people over there who sit in these echo chambers and agree with one another that they're Hebrews, but they disagree on a King James Bible, which is actually a Christian document. So in order to make that work, they try to say that the House of Stuart was black. They all say that. And what they're doing is they're pulling from the Abo doctrine, right? And then they mix it in with their doctrine, and they get the ultimate identity cult doctrine. It's all bullshit. So I said, you know what? I'm gonna meet y'all with the same energy that y'all meet me with. And then when they get backed into a corner, they don't let you talk. They'll ask you a question. When you begin to answer it intelligently, of course, they'll start talking over you. Because they've realized, damn, I have nowhere to go in my own room. Okay, so I'm going to be ignorant and stupid. Hey, I just started matching these motherfuckers with the same energy. That's just what I'm doing now. That's the best way to approach them. Excuse my language this morning, but I dealt with it long enough yesterday. I asked a gentleman something simple. This is so simple. How did you get here? He said, through Deuteronomy, the 28th chapter. I said, through slavery. He said, yeah. And I said, okay, so on the west coast of Africa, show me a group of people claiming to be Hebrews or Israelites on the west coast of Africa. He couldn't show it. Where's Judah? Where's all that shit at? He couldn't show it. He produced, they'll sit up there and tell you, oh yeah, that's the European shit. Then I'll say, show me Judah. They'll show you the kingdom of Judah. A map that a European drew. And it was not even called the kingdom of Judah. They called it the kingdom of Judah because it was a loan word. It was actually the kingdom of Guihu. That's what it was called. They called it Judah probably because they were selling slaves from there. Like, are we serious? You're telling me the only thing you got, Chris, is what Europeans have told you. But you read from their goddamn document. You're literally reading from their document called the Bible. How are you a Hebrew also, and you're reading from a King James? This lady started saying, I read from the scroll. What scroll you reading from over here in the United States of America? We don't read scrolls. You don't read from right to left. You read from left to right, like everybody else doing this motherfucker. You just trying to say some shit that you think sounds sophisticated. I asked her what. She said, well, I read the book that's copied from the scroll. Which one? The Sefer? What? That's a Jewish document. That's a Zionist document. Dummy. See, you got to meet them with the same energy, and they like being spoken to like that. They're gluttons for punishment because they're so fucking dumb. They're dumb. Excuse me, we got to stop this stupidity. Every other ethnicity of people has a pride about themselves, but when it comes to us, we just choose to stay stupid. Judah Nazareth, you in the same place you was in 7 years ago. Grow the fuck up. Napashada, you ain't going nowhere with what you doing. Haven't you seen that? You're stagnant and your debates suck. Grow the fuck up. Abos, grow up. Get smart. Stop being stupid. It's going into 2025, and I've taken a drastic turn on my channel. Of course, I'm not leaving this up. I've taken a drastic turn on my channel. I'm just dealing with empirical data and sources. But when you talk to these identity thieves, you got to meet them where they at. You got to give them the same energy that they give you, because the first thing they come with is this damn insult towards who you are. If you are an Abo, 9 times out of 10, your ancestors were Africans escaping into those plantations. And if you're going to claim that, which is fine, because ontologically we absorbed a lot of their traditions from being on their plantations, marrying their women, and their women marrying our men, vice versa. So there was a lot of cultural exchange. That's what history shows. Show me the original black Indian tribe. You can't do that. Y'all use this revisionist nonsense. Y'all use Walter Plecker, which has already been debunked. And it's a shame that we got to debunk something as simple as that. That was about status, not ethnicity. This is common sense. I'm talking to this damn Hebrew, this Hebrew tard, and he's sitting up there. Slavery, it says that the Hebrews would sell them slaves and sell themselves as slaves, and no one would buy them. Right here, this debunks your entire narrative. Haven't you read this? You're not in captivity. There are no shackles on your neck. There were never any shackles on your neck. You've never been in captivity. Your ancestors, which were Africans, people from Central and West Africa, They were brought to the west coast of Africa. If you're from the central part, through goddamn trade routes. Excuse me, but the transatlantic slave trade is not the four corners of the world. It's just not. It's not. The transatlantic slave trade is the Western Hemisphere, going into the Western Hemisphere. You know what this nigga told me, y'all? His name was Jameer. He told me, "Where's Europe?" I said, "That's the eastern part of the world." All right. Well, here, look. There was a slave trade going on into Europe. He showed it to me, and you know what it said? First thing it said, the transatlantic slave trade. They took a route, dummy, through the transatlantic slave trade, and you still choose to stay stupid. You actually picked out a source that worked against you. That's what the white man told you. Shut up. Shut up. Grow up. See, I figured it out. Hey y'all, I figured it out. All 40 people. It's not that it's not that they don't know. It's just that they didn't pay attention in high school. They don't know really what reading comprehension is. They really don't know. The apples, I'm telling y'all, they really don't know. Yes, there are black Cherokee, but why are there black Cherokee? Yes, there are black Chickasaw. Yes, there are black Creek Indians. Yes, but who did their ancestors say they were prior to that? See, because the African, he started claiming those things for status. Men started mating with their women, and women started mating with our men, but mainly for status. Their children would be seen as free. At least that's what they thought. But because whiteness or white supremacy is so sick, because it destroys and it decimates culture, they were willing to say that even the Indian, his status was that of a Negro. So when you get Walter Plecker calling them that, that was strictly about status, not about ethnicity. That's status and ethics. And Abbo told me ethics come from the word ethnic. I laughed my ass off. And I said, we are in trouble going into 2025. The next 4 years are going to be some dark and perilous times for all people in this country. And I'm not trying to fearmonger you with that right now. That's not what I do. So what's the route here? I could talk to you all. I could talk to you Abos and you Hebrews and listen to y'all say, use the same talking points. Oh, the white man told you that. Yet you read from their documents. Oh, those aren't the true Jews. I'm not asking you who they are. I'm asking you, why are you claiming something that's intrinsically against you? It is against you. And Judaism, as it relates to the Eastern, the old world, versus what it is today, is not the same thing. It's not. It was totally different. The King James Bible was put together on this side of the world. So this Hebrew woke tar was about as silly and depressing as it gets. I couldn't even have a normal conversation with this guy. I'm trying to tell y'all, I couldn't even have a normal conversation with this gentleman. And when he finally produced his empirical evidence, first thing he said was transatlantic slave trade into the Western Hemisphere of the world. That certainly isn't the four corners. And just because it goes to four different directions into the Western Hemisphere does not make it the four corners of the world, because that was never literal. That was the four corners of the then known world, which would be, according to Sumerian and Mesopotamian lore, the four corners of the then known world. You have to give it its cultural context. So yesterday I was over there on Chief Callie's channel. Chief Callie is a good friend of mine. He's an abo. He's a good friend of mine. I got nothing but respect for that brother. Just like Captain 10K, I have nothing but respect and love for that brother as a Hebrew. It's just that a lot of their constituents got to wake the fuck up. But I was talking to a gentleman over there by the name of Minister of Information. And we were talking about the Bible as it relates to ethics and morals. And I just asked a question to the Minister of Information. But you know what? I forgot. Before I asked the question, because I was a little depressed over the holiday, right? When you're not around your family or anything like that. So I was a little down, no big deal. And, my sis called me, Neo called me and said, yo, why don't you come on this channel? And, I didn't want to at first because I didn't want to be bothered. I know Morpheus was calling me, didn't want to be bothered. But then I said, you know what? Why not? Why not? Chris, it ain't that bad. So I went on over there. But before I went over there, I listened to this guy named Minister of Information. He came on that platform, and you guys go check out that video. And I forgot I'm that good at debating. He came on there. First of all, I only debate my equals. You guys do not teach at higher institutions, therefore you're not my equal. Oh, he came in talking big shit. He came in talking all this big shit. So I vetted his ass real quick. I just decided, let me vet this man real quick. So I looked at his channel because I've dealt with that gentleman before. He's a Moor. All right, he's a Moor. Right? He's a Moor. He wear the fez. Once we see that fez, y'all know what it is. Y'all know what it is. All right? They take on a bunch of with the Moorish identity, and then he said he's a Mason. I ain't got no problem with that either, right? When I asked him about those things, such as him being a Mason, such as him being a Moor, he denied it. So what I did was, after he came with all that condescending speech against Neo, Brother Eli, and a couple other people that were up there, I said, oh, okay, cool. Let me just pull your channel up. And then I began to tear him the fuck down. Intelligently, intellectually. Anything that start with one of them eyes, shit, I did it. And when I tell you there was blood all over that screen when I was done with him, all of a sudden, that posture that he took against everybody, it was gone. You see, I explained something to somebody. When you're debating me, you're debating a snake. I like to say that. It's called the snake style. Me and Tahuti created it, and I understand it. You have to remain calm. What happens when there's a snake in your house? If anybody's ever had a snake in their house or a reptile, you're very calm when looking for it. Because if you start panicking and running around the house looking for it, what's going to happen? It's going to run. Because it feels the vibration. It's going to run. And it's going to hide. And you're not going to be able to find it. Those things are masters of disguise. Trust me. You're not going to be able to find it. It'll hide right there in your face and you can't find it. Trust me. I've been through it with my boy. He owned the snake. When that snake got loose, I got the hell out of there. I was like, yo, I'm out, man. I'll tell you to call the exterminator and kill that thing. They ain't afraid of it. All right? So it's called a snake style. You just remain calm. What happens when there's a snake on your arm? You have to think of it like that. You have to remain calm. You remain calm no matter what. You remain calm so the snake doesn't bite you. It's twofold. So you have to envision that snake being on your arm or on any limb, and when you get excited, it's going to bite you. It's like, whoa, you're doing too much. Your job is to catch the snake and tame the snake. So you have to become the snake. You have to be as wise as all the beasts of the field. That's why it's called the snake style. And when I tell you he got struck last night, everything that he said was Moorish Abo doctrine. He was up here talking about he teach at a higher institution of learning, and he said he doesn't use the word, he doesn't call them Hebrews. I said, wait a minute. You believe that you're a Hebrew? He says, no, I'm a Habiru. I believe the Habirus were in Egypt. I don't call them Hebrews. And I said, Habiru? Habiru is not an ethnicity. What are you talking about? Habiru means dusty and dirty. It was a description. That's all it was. It was a description of a people. What does Hebrew mean then? Hold on. We're not going to kick the can that fast. So I went to the channel, and then I said, here it is right here. You called the ancient Hebrews in Egypt. You did this a month ago. There was never a group of people in Egypt called the Hebrews. Well, I don't call them Hebrews. Well, right here on your channel, you do. He got humbled so fast. But yet he's supposed to be this teacher of higher learning. Get your pseudo ass out of here. Then he tried to play victim. So I stayed calm, because this is very normal behavior for people who don't understand how to cite sources correctly. Gideon does a better job, and he always running up off the panel. So the reason why they act like that is because they don't want to be vetted. Because they know when you vet them, it's going to be blood all over the YouTube screen. Y'all go check that video out. It's over there on Chief Cali's channel. Y'all go over there and check it out. 216, Chief Cali 216. Got a lot of love for that brother. I disagree with him on that on his Avo doctrine. I definitely do. But sometimes you got to pick your battles. And the relationship between me and him is more important than the battle. But he had a sister up there that insulted, that said some insulting shit. Her name was Dewanda Pickney. And when she said, we don't deal with that African shit over here, I said to myself, your name is Dewanda. I know you African because I can hear the name. What's your indigenous name? And stop coming with the Big Chief Little Thunder bullshit. Because they definitely didn't speak English over here. They weren't speaking that. Why are you taking on something so stereotypical? They'll have these channels like the Truth channels and all this other shit. And then when you get over there, it ain't nothing but a bunch of bullshit. Revisionist ideology about our history, twisting our narrative, throwing our story away. And you FBA motherfuckers, y'all just as ignorant too. Because y'all coming with some crazy ass shit. I let Psycho deal with y'all. That's his thing. I let him deal with y'all. I still don't see any of you all coming forward teaching us any goddamn thing. Y'all coming with Abo and Hebrew doctrine. It's the same thing over and over and over and over and over and over again. Mr. Minister Information is a pseudo. How are you talking about you a teacher of higher education at an institution of higher learning and you don't even know how to cross-reference anything?
You don't even use the historical method correctly. See, you got up there with somebody that knows how to do those things, and it was blood all over YouTube when I was done with you in the first 5 minutes. Trust me, I've done it to everybody that I've debated. And I wasn't even up there debating with you. I just asked, what is subjective morality versus what is objective morality? Because when you look at the Bible, it is subjective morality. It is not objective. Nothing in that book is universal. I mean, it says thou shalt not kill. God gives the law saying thou shalt not kill, but then he ordains people to kill one another, Hebrews to kill one another of all things. So it's a contradiction. The God is a hypocrite. God gets mad. God get jealous. God don't get a goddamn thing. Why would a God get jealous if he already know it's going to happen? How can a God get jealous or mad if he know it's already going to happen? How can he pronounce a curse on you if he know it's already going to happen? Why would he choose a group of people to represent him and to teach his message if he already know it's going to happen, and later on he got to kill an innocent man because these people failed to do what he told them to do, and he already knew they was going to fail? That's a sadist. I always say these people are children. And their only argument is, and this is just it just becomes a smoke and mirrors campaign. A European taught you that. You speak English, don't you? What indigenous tribe over here in North America was telling you that you were one of them first? Y'all be trying to go get these scarce sources and read them to us and think we ain't gonna go back and read this shit or pull that shit on the spot. I be listening to Top Cats presentations and I just be laughing all over the place. And all them niggas in there be eating it up. Yeah, we with Jaguar University. Why not go to a real university of a higher institution and just learn? And you'll learn that he's lying. His entire method is flawed. And it's a shame that we won't grow up in 2024. We didn't grow up anytime soon. We didn't grow up any in 2024. We have got to grow the fuck up. We have got to grow up. We have got to do better. You know, the Christian apologist thing. He doesn't know either because he's trying to fight for his existentialist worldview. You don't know. You can trust your Bible. You can't trust your Bible. This is how it's put together. It comes from P52. It comes from P66. These are the oldest papyruses. These stories were added. This story was taken out. Why do we need it? Why do I need the story of Jesus? How do we vet this shit? All of these things were written in the 4th century. All of it. You don't have any surviving text from the 1st century. If you do, just show it. You got a piece of fucking paper from the book of John. A piece of fucking paper. If it's God's book, shouldn't it be enshrined in a damn vault somewhere? Wouldn't he protect his word? Here, let me tell y'all something. God is what you make it. God was actually the assembly of elders. You know, I hate to say this, But I was watching Gladiator 2. That movie sucked. I'm sorry, the movie was not good. You know,
Denzel, a little cringy there. I hate to say that about Denzel. I don't know about this one, Denzel. I don't know about that one, Denzel. You the man, but I don't know. Maybe Denzel getting a little bit past his prime on this one. You know, every time I think of it, it was cringe. I ain't gonna lie, it was cringe. That shit was cringe. That shit was bad. No character development, no character growth, none of that shit. It was bad. But anyway, damn, it was bad. Where was I at? I forgot where the hell I was at. But I was watching Gladiator 2, and you know, I'm not using this as a source or a method. But there was something that happened in the movie when the emperor, or the Caesar, which was these twin Caesars at the time in this movie, they said, let the gods decide. And the Caesars stood, one of the Caesars stood up, he opened up his arms, and then he looked at the contestants in the gladiator arena, gave a thumbs up, let them live, or a thumbs down to kill them. And I said, wow, look at what he said. Let the gods decide. So the people were the gods. And we see this, and it's replete throughout the Bible if you're really paying attention. The God Israel said, Moses, I will make you a God unto the Pharaoh. As in judgment. Right? So that's what you're reading in the Hebrew text. You're reading about God, but God is really the assembly of the elders. You serving another God is going to make them jealous. They're going to get upset because they too were told stories without any empirical data to back any of that shit up. That's why God is getting jealous, because it's them, the assembly of elders. Jesus was talking to them. Here's another one. You Torah only's got this shit all wrong too. All you got to do is go study the first century. You got to give it its cultural context. Jesus said, don't it say in your law that you are gods? People are like, no, he's quoting the Psalms. He's not quoting Psalms. The Sanhedrin was split in the first century. It was split between the Levites, the so-called ordained priests, and Pharisees and their scribes. And they had an oral tradition saying they are gods, because they were Hellenized, working with them Romans, working with them Greeks prior to that. The ruling empire is always going to have the mind of the people. It's just that simple. And that's what makes you special as an African. Have we adopted a lot of their ways? Yes. Have we become complacent? Yes. Do we need to be complacent? No. That's not what your ancestors wanted.
Your ancestors wanted for you to have knowledge of self.
Knowledge of self. So you can remember who you are. But I see y'all. And I don't see no growth. I don't see no knowledge of self. I don't see no education. That DeWanda Pickney, when she said that, I ain't do nothing but shake my head left and right. Because the person that y'all were promoting, he got up there and got made to look stupid. Once again, another person hustling.
It's 2025. Grow the fuck up. It's 2025. Christianity never did nothing personally to me. You trying to defend it. Yes, it did. You read the book, don't you? So it did something personally to you. It taught you that your native tongue was insignificant. It taught you that your native name is insignificant because it teaches it in the Bible. It teaches you that you're a new creature in Christ. All of that is part of the Christian identity. Remember when Jesus met all of them? He said, your name is no longer Kepha, it is Peter. Your name is no longer this, it is that. And that's what they were doing to slaves. Christianity, your name is no longer Kunta Kinte, it is Toby, because you're going to be my servant. Now, what was Christianity in the first and second centuries? Oh, it's a totally different story now. It is a totally different story. And let me say something to anybody thinking this. I want all the smoke on it. Oh, don't get it twisted. I enjoy it. I enjoy it. I love it. Infinite Guy, good morning. I love it. I enjoy debating, but I do not enjoy arguing with a fool. They scorn the wisdom of your words. They always have, and they always will. Family, I don't know what else to say. I think those two groups primarily need to grow up. I think FBA, I like what Psycho said. I think it's a counterintelligence program. I think all of it is a counterintelligence program, being honest. Just being honest with you, I think all this shit is a counterintelligence program. Motherfuckers running around talking about some they the foremost leader in sacred scrolls and scripts and all this other crazy shit. Don't know what that language isolate is. You start asking basic questions to disarm them. You just like, okay, this is a punching bag right here. You go on, I keep telling you, if anybody know anything about Clubhouse, go up in one of them rooms. Go up in one of them rooms. And you know what? I was shocked that Garfield Reed be up in those rooms. And they only let him on there because he's enforcing their belief by somewhat alluding to some of this shit is real. Man, the more I learn about this shit, the more I say, yo, this shit ain't real. James Watkins, Cali is cool. Just like you pick your battles, I do the same with him. I let him be. That is his thing. Yeah, Cali's cool. Got no problem with Cali. See, but when DeWanda Pickney said that, that we don't do that African shit over here, your name DeWanda, girl. Stop. Stop it. Your name is DeWanda Pickney. So you got a name like LaQuisha, LaQuanda, Shanika, Shaquia. Shawnee. Those are names that are all part of our culture. It's unique. Hell, I know a girl named Unique. Zaquia, Laquia, Shaquia, Shaniqua, Quinita, Quanque, Taisha. We shouldn't turn from that. Those names are unique amongst us and our culture. Can you imagine seeing a white girl with that name? Y'all would get mad. Own it. It's not bad English. It's who you are. If they laugh at bones and noses and mud huts and straw huts and shit, own it. Own that shit. Yup. Rural parts of Africa, yup, I own all that shit. Because your religion came directly from that. That's the birth of your religion right there. You don't get Christianity without the Neteru. Loquisha, Lamika, Tamika, Shamika, Shantanique, Taquia. Those names have a uniqueness amongst them. And when you hear it, you know it's black. There's nothing wrong with gatekeeping our culture. You know, when I was on Clubhouse, you know what I enjoyed? When somebody said, Chris, I really enjoyed how you held him to one position concerning Deuteronomy 28. When he tried to get off of Deuteronomy, the 28th chapter, you kept him right there. Yep, that's what I do. That's what I'm known for. I'm not going to allow you to get up here and start, jumping all over the place. We talking about Deuteronomy, the 28th chapter. Talking about when the shackles are off your neck, you will be completely destroyed. That means that's us. Yep, there were shackles on our neck. Can't you see this is what the European did to us? No, Robborn, don't do that. No, Robborn, don't you do it. Oh no, we were talking about we were talking about FBA. Fuck them too. See, I get that fight to you and Psycho. I'll let y'all have that fight. Y'all can go ahead and beat them up. Because see, the Abos done took that doctrine too. They done took that doctrine too. And they twisting that shit all up. I'll let y'all have that fight. C-Dot, I'll let him have that fight. Everybody got their fight. But the Hebrews, I get them all to smoke. Love giving them the smoke. Yes, sir. Hey, Gary, what's up, man? Yeah. I got my own clubhouse room now. Yeah. I'm probably gonna go live over there later. I gotta get that to grow. Gotta get it to grow. Could be something I could do on my downtime, and I just stick right there with Deuteronomy 28. I ain't going nowhere else. I'm gonna stay right there because that's the indoctrination right there. It starts right there, and our history becomes twisted right there at that point. So, family, I gotta get ready to sign up out of here, man. Appreciate y'all for tuning in.
Clubhouse. Here, let me go get it for you all now. To be correct. You can check me out at MVP Harris. Check me out over there on Clubhouse on MVP Harris. Check me out. Let's get this channel to grow. Let's get that over there to grow. Let's build. Let's have a good time. Beat up pseudos. We only dealing with Deuteronomy 28. As a matter of fact, I'm going to call it the home of Deuteronomy 28. Yeah. Find a room called Biblical Smoke. That's where they all at. 1,000 people be in there every time. Okay, cool. Got you. I think that's your channel, ain't it? I know Grand Rising got a channel over there. It just be pseudo as shit over there. And the minute you catch him, they just boot you off. Fuck him, he don't even believe. But anyway, family. Duty calls. Time to make my money. I'll talk to y'all later, man. Y'all have a good morning. Peace.